This morning.
Former Detroit Police Chief James Craig is scheduled to officially announce his run for governor today.
Now, the former top cop is one of several candidates seeking the Republican nomination in the race to challenge Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer next year.
Craig will be hosting 3 different events today, including one starting at 10 o'clock this morning in Detroit, and then he'll be traveling to Flint and Grand Rapids.
7 Action News reporter Darren Cunningham is live on Belle Isle this morning, where Craig is expected to make his big announcement. Darren?
Yes, good morning. As you mentioned, that announcement is expected to happen here at Belle Isle at Sunset Point at 10 a.m. 7 investigator Ross Jones actually spoke one-on-one with the former chief on Monday.
If you go out and talk to community members, go out and talk to the men and women who serve, I feel real good about what we did over the last 8 years. Extremely good.
Former Chief James Craig spoke with 7 investigator Ross Jones in advance of today's announcement and talked about how he would govern the state through the pandemic. As chief, Craig instituted mask mandates throughout DPD and was one of the first people to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. But today, as a candidate, Craig has changed his tune and told Ross he believes that mask mandates aren't the way to go, even in schools.
I think it should be left up to the parents. The parents are the stakeholders. If a parent says, yes, I want my child in school, but I want my child to wear a mask, that's choice.
Isn't every child in that classroom, aren't they a stakeholder? I mean, if you aren't wearing a mask and you have COVID, I understand that's your personal choice not to wear a mask, but I don't want COVID. What if you pass it on to me?
Well, we shouldn't demonize those who decide and make a decision to not be vaccinated.
I think there's, without doubt, he's a strong candidate.
Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio says Craig is likely the front runner on the Republican ticket.
Because of his name recognition, because of I would say some intangibles that he brings to the table. But there are other candidates.
But he says Craig brings the promise of law and order that will resonate with many Republican voters.
If you think that it's all on the reliance of the police department to reduce crime, when violent suspects are being released back into our community, there are no consequences. That drives crime.
So, Darren, we understand there's a demonstration plan on Belle Isle today as well. Tell us what we know about that.
Yes, well, the chief is supposed to speak at 10 a.m. An hour prior to that, at 9 a.m., the group Detroit Will Breathe, they will be out here demonstrating against him running. Now, that's the group that marched last summer throughout Detroit, downtown Detroit, against racial injustice as well as police brutality. And they were, of course, vocal critics against the former chief's leadership. And so his next stops after Detroit, Belle Isle today, he will be in Flint and then Grand Rapids.
Right. We'll be watching it all on Belle Isle and as the former chief kicks off his campaign across the state. Thank you so much, Darren.
Well, today...